Welcome, everyone. My name is Lou Katsos, and I am the president of Jekmar Associates, a construction development consulting firm to major New York developers and owners. Among other things, I am the president of EMCA, the East Mediterranean Business Culture Alliance, and within AHEPA, I am the governor of its largest district, both nationally and internationally. I will moderate this segment of the Exports Turn Crisis into Opportunity virtual forum. On our panel entitled, What Are Buyers and Investors Looking For Today, we have with us three major international buyers and investors and Hellenic American philanthropists, John Catsimatidis, Dean Metropoulos, and John Calamos Sr. John Catsimatidis is the chairman and CEO of the Red Apple Group. The Red Apple Group is primarily an energy company with holdings in oil, refining and biofuels, retail petroleum products, convenience stores, real estate, aviation, media and supermarkets, plus holding investments in both medical and industrial technology. John hosts popular radio programs in New York studio under catsroundtable.com, and his national program airs on WABC. His companies post annual sales of approximately $8 billion with over 8,000 employees. Welcome, John.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
Always good to communicate with our brethren in Greece.
Our other panelist is Dean Metropoulos. He is the chairman and CEO of Metropoulos and Company, a boutique acquisition and management firm with offices in New York and Greenwich, Connecticut. He has spent over 30 years building, restructuring, and growing numerous businesses in the U.S., Mexico, and Europe, with many of these subsequently being taken public or sold to strategic corporations. Metropoulos and Company has partnered with several high-profile equity firms, including J.P. Morgan, Apollo, and Blackstone, and has been involved in more than 83 acquisitions with over $48 billion in invested capital over the last 3 decades, earning some of the most attractive returns on Wall Street. With us also, and welcome, Dean. Welcome.
Well, thank you very much, and look forward to the discussion.
Same on my end. Our other panelist is John Calamos Sr. He is the founder, chairman, and global CIO of Calamos Investments, with origins as an institutional convertible bond manager. His firm has grown into a global asset management company with major institutional and individual clients around the world. The firm is headquartered in Chicago, the metropolitan area, with offices in New York, San Francisco, Milwaukee, and the Miami area. He has established research and investment processes centered around a team-based approach and delivering superior risk-adjusted performance over full market cycles through the range of U.S. and global investment strategies, including equity, fixed income, convertible, and alternative investments. Welcome, John. Welcome, John. John Calamos, welcome. Can you hear us? Okay. John, if you're muted, just unmute yourself. John Catsimatidis, let me start with you. If we can.
Yes.
You're involved with many businesses, John, that we talked about right here, and you're a buyer and investor in all types of firms in the U.S. What type of things, in terms of buying and investing, do you look at in the U.S.? And as a follow-up question, what would you be looking for in terms of any buying and investing in the Hellenic Republic?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I was born in Greece, and whenever I am in Greece, I always have tears in my eyes because, I love the country of our forefathers. And we were looking to invest in Greece in any particular thing. We attempted cellular communications back 30 years ago. We were partners with Verizon or 9X at that time. We attempted starting a airline in Greece back in the early 90s. The three of us together tried to buy a hotel in Athens, and it seems like it did not work out, and I was looking for an excuse to come to Greece more often, and the land of our forefathers. And it's not necessarily about making money in Greece. It's about, well, none of us want to lose money, but we want to be able to travel to Greece and have a little bit of ouzo.
But John, not only in terms of investing in Greece, but let's say your operations in the United States. For example, you have hundreds of supermarkets, you have all types of stores in the U.S. What there's products obviously that the exporters who are listening to us today want to export. What are some of the problematic issues of bringing in those products and bringing them into the stores? What are you looking for? Is it an issue of them not coming to you? Yeah.
What I think is the problem is communications. You need somebody to be able to communicate with that's there permanently, not that changes every 6 months, and somebody that's knowledgeable on how to get the product delivered to the United States. Look, we're in a lot of businesses. We're in the food business. We're in the investment business. We're in the real estate business. We're looking for real estate in Greece, and we'll do anything. You just need the proper communications with the government, and you don't want to be playing ping pong with too many ministers, and that's my concern. The joke was that we were telling a couple of friends yesterday was, I've never met the same minister twice.
But John, let's talk about, for example, your real estate business. You're developing a lot of projects. Obviously, there's a lot of things that go into into the building trades. For example, there's exterior walls, there's kitchen cabinets, there's marble tiles, etc. What is your consideration, for example, to consider Greek exporters with regards to those products?
Well, having Greek blood, we would give Greek exporters a preference if they can deliver the product, good products at a reasonable price, and we urge it. But you need communications. Lou, you're one of our consultants in the real estate construction business. We built 6 or 7 brand new buildings in the last 5-6 years. We want to be able to have somebody discuss it with and evaluate.
So when you talk about communications, you're saying that some of the issues that may be problematic have to do, quite frankly, with them communicating. In other words, the Greek exporters communicating what, in fact, their product line is. Can they deliver in the quantities that you desire, within the time frames that you desire, and things of that nature. But you're open, quite frankly, to Hellenic exporters at this present time.
We are definitely open, but like I said, communications. I have a good friend of mine that's trying to start a business in Greece, a real good friend of mine. And he said, would you make some phone calls for me? And I made a few phone calls. Guess what? I did not get calls back.
Not a good sign. Dean, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
You've been involved in numerous acquisitions around the world, involving billions of dollars in invested capital. When looking at companies to acquire, what are some of the aspects of a company that you are looking into in terms of buying, restructuring, and growing them? And just talk generically in terms of what you do, in terms of all these other acquisitions, and then what you would be looking at if you were going to do the same type of thing in the Hellenic Republic.
Good. Well, I think the businesses, we've looked at hundreds of acquisitions. As you said, we've closed on 83 in the past 35 years or so. Everybody knows the names like Mum Champagne, Perrier Jouet Champagne in Europe, Premier Foods in the UK, which is the largest publicly traded food company, many. Anyway, we look for, and it's been industrial businesses and consumer businesses, beverages like Pabst Blue Ribbon and some generic generators and so forth. when we look at a company, first of all, we need to understand its financials. We need to have a vision with it when we go in. What can we do better? Is it a business that needs restructuring, or is it a business that we think can become a platform for a lot of innovation, perhaps add-on acquisitions, and so forth? So when we feel we have a clear vision of the opportunity, then we aggressively pursue it to put those ideas into motion. Interesting enough, many of these companies that have not performed well, it's always been because they have not been up to date on technology to give them full visibility into their business decisions, on top of using your instincts to drive growth and innovation and cost controls, etc. So that's been primarily the model that we go in with. We often change CEOs and cultures. Accountability is crucial to us. Performance accountability, setting objectives, targets, reviewing them monthly and regularly to see where we are. And we have a sign outside the door that says, leave the explanations behind, come on in with results. So that's the general model. Greece, I think, Greece is in a, I think,
like
in a
that
very... It's on a crossroads. I think Greece is in a wonderful place. I think a few years ago we were all in Greece and Bill Clinton was there, and John will mention that as well. And we visited with the ministry and the government officials, and Bill Clinton said it very well. And I can tell you that's the best lesson we can learn as any country, and America struggles sometime with that as well. It's roll out the red carpet, not the red tape. Regulations tend to make things very difficult for people to come in and start entrepreneurial businesses. So I think that's an important consideration. But I think when you look at the Chinese have upgraded the port of Piraeus, it's going to be a wonderful long-term opportunity to create a much more vibrant trading area. Microsoft recently announced $1 billion transaction. I think they spend billions in Israel, Microsoft, for research and development. I think Greece can be that incubator itself if we work effectively. The government, it seems like it's setting a new phase, a new policy going forward. Unfortunately, this year has been a real problem for the whole world, but we'll get past that hopefully within a year or so. And I think Greece is in a very good place with that. The old airports come along very well, big investments, research centers. I've tried to make an investment in there with one of the Greek families on a research center. So I think they're in good place. The key is to cut out regulations, have a legal system that that's reliable. That's one of the things that has discouraged us so far. Is the legal system in Greece is not very predictable or understandable. It could take you 10 years to resolve any business issue. So regulations and the legal system and transparency are important considerations to our investment decisions.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Dean. And obviously, we've heard that from a lot of people, including people who tried to develop certain properties in Greece, let's say resort centers, et cetera. And, 10, 15 years later, maybe they got a permit. But I think what you did say is that with the new government that is in place right now, they seem to be very willing to make changes to some of the past issues that people were complaining about, and also in terms of transparency and all the rest of that. And I think that's a good start, quite frankly, for this particular administration. I can't do that, quite frankly. I have to continue with John Calamos, and then I'll introduce the minister. John Calamos, are you there?
Yes, I am.
John, I think we can all agree that this has been an unprecedented year. As the founder of a global investment firm, what is your market and economic outlook?
Well, we're obviously with the pandemic, it's really impacted the markets. Although the equity markets here in the U.S. have done very well, and we are seeing the non-U.S. markets in Europe and Asia really come back. So it's that's been a opportunity for us here. The recent weakness in the U.S. dollar, strength in precious metals, all hint that there is a change going on. So we're seeing a lot of opportunities. So from an asset allocation point of view, we are focused on internationally. Europe now is moving along. So that's been a positive. The other big risk out there is inflation risk. So moving much towards the equity markets away from the bonds with such a low interest rate is really another area that we think we need to be doing. So in the past 2 months, we've seen Europe and the emerging markets lead global equity markets, and this has really been a positive. So we're optimistic going forward in here, and Greece seems to have been improving in deregulation. We look at the Freedom Index, and Greece has moved up on the Freedom Index. So remember, capital goes to where it's treated best, and Greece has been moving up a bit from that.
That sounds great, John. Gentlemen, we're just going to take a little bit of break, and then I'll come back to ask some questions. Now I have the pleasure of introducing our keynote speaker for this segment, Minister Antonis Georgiadis, the Hellenic Minister of Development and Investments, who will be speaking on the economic climate in Greece, investment opportunities in export companies and products, and government support to exports. A graduate of the National and Kapodistria University, he has taken over at an early age the management of the publications Georgiadis Library of Greek and founded the Liberal Studies Center Greek Education. Later, he held numerous posts, elected and appointed. This included being the MP in 2007, 2009, 2012, and 2015 in the Athens B region, as well as holding appointed positions as the Vice Minister of Shipping in 2011, Minister of Health in 2013, and more recently as the Minister of Development and Investments. Welcome, Minister Georgiadis.
Thank you very much for the invitation. Sorry for the delay, but I was in the Parliament and I was defending one of my laws about COVID-19 and how we're handling now this crisis. I have to say that I'm really very honored, not only by participating to this great conference, but for the panel I was invited in, because Mr. Catsimatidis and Mr. Metropoulos and Mr. Calamos are very distinguished and very well-respected people here in Greece and worldwide. And it's a great honor for me being between them in such an important discussion. Having said that, our main effort, our main goal, and our main purpose in the government is to transform Greece to a very business-friendly country. We want to try to change the image and the perspective that Greece has all this year as a very difficult destination of investing and as a very bureaucratic destination, as a place that if you go and invest, you are going to lose money, you are going to have problems and everything of that. I'm here not just to say to you, come and invest to Greece because you are Greeks. You are Greeks. You are Greeks that have great successes where you live, in the great country of the United States of America, who's one of our beloved countries, one of the biggest allies we have, and one of the countries that we really admire. But my job here is to persuade everybody, even if he is Greek origin or not, to come and invest in Greece because he will have a profitable investment and he will earn money. I don't want an investment to be here for synestimatic, for emotional reasons, because you love Greece. We know that you love Greece. We want investments from people that they will believe that here they will find opportunities, they will have a government that they will be able easy to find ways out to all the problems that may occur, and have already changed, I think, the way people look Greece in this 1.5 years that we have the government, even under this COVID-19 pandemic crisis that, of course, changed all our plans. In this 1.5 years, we have already decreased the bureaucracy in a significant way. in the licensing of a business, of taxation. We have decreased taxation. We have decreased social contribution funding. We transformed our public sector to a very digital way in order to be able to take practically all kind of paper or license through internet and having no real connection with the services. We have legislated laws that are giving a lot of incentives for big investments in renewable energies, in the logistics, in tourism. We have accelerated the privatization program of the state in the Eleftheris Venizelos airport, in the port of Thessaloniki, Kavala, Alexandroupoli, Goumenitsa, in DEPA, and many other areas of our infrastructure. We have accelerated big investment projects as the Ellinikon project in Attica, or other big projects around the country. If you would like to ask me, I can refer to each one of them in a more specific way. We have changed, and we're changing now all our judicial system in order to have courts that will issue very fast decisions for business reasons and be able to apply everything through internet in order to avoid bureaucracy that could delay decisions in the past a lot. We have a very strong cooperation with the World Bank, and we're trying to make Greece upgrade to the doing business rating, and I think we will be in a much better position when the new rates will be announced. And we are proceeding all the reforms that would secure a stable and very easy to predict environment, business environment in our country. The main message we want to give to everybody is that we respect other people's time and money, and we want to make their life easier if they decide to come and trust Greece in order to make a profitable business. This is the main job we're trying to do, and already now big companies and from the US trusted Greece in this 1.5 years that I'm here in the office. Pfizer was the first company that decided to make a big investment in Thessaloniki. Cisco followed. Microsoft announced $1 billion investment in Attica. Digital Realty, $400 million investment in Greece. Now we're in a good position to say that other, I don't want to announce, big American companies, very well known, are coming, and in the weeks to come, they will announce big investment also in Greece. So things are changing. Of course, 2020 will be a year of big recession because of COVID-19. But when the vaccine will come and we will be able to vaccinate the population and the pandemic will be over, I'm sure that Greece will have a big economic success and a significant growth in our economy. So I'm here to answer to any other question you may have. And once more, I want to say that it was a great honor for me participating to this panel, especially with Mr. Catsimatidis, which is an old friend and some people that many people here admire really very much. Mr. Metropoulos, which I had the honor to hear him many times in the conferences, and of course Mr. Calamos and his reputation, big reputation here in Greece. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister. To the panel, given Elas's geographical location and geopolitical positioning, what do you think or see as the natural strengths of Greece, not only as an importer but also to invest in Greece? Can you guys hear me? Are you guys on?
Yes.
Okay. So we have here
Who are you asking the question to?
location. Now the question is to the panel. I'm talking about the John, and Dean.
Okay. Well, I'll start with some thoughts. I think, first of all, I think many wide opportunities. Research and development will draw and develop a lot of young people back into Greece, and particularly in the technology area. Solar energy, which I think is going to continue to expand and grow. Wind energy. It's about battery technology, which is going to come along in a not too distant future. Trading, of course, like using facilities like Piraeus. Tourism is a huge industry industry will continue. I think food exports, Greece, the Mediterranean diet around the world, we have failed to develop branded products that appeal to consumers in every corner of the world, whether it's olive oils, whether it's wines, whether it's all the Greek products. Mediterranean diet is really resonating, and Greece should be at the heart of that. So there are many, many wonderful opportunities that are ahead for Greece, and I think we're well positioned to take advantage of those.
John, what are your thoughts about that in terms of Greece's geopolitical, positioning and geographic location? Not only obviously within the country itself, but we're talking about the Balkans. We're talking about Europe in general.
Yeah.
Greece is in a great position physically, and has been for hundreds, thousands of years. John, what are your thoughts?
I think Dean Metropoulos said it perfectly. I mean, it's in a perfect position. I understand Greece has a lot of minerals on the islands, and by studies that have been done, Greece is positioned for greatness. You just need the right people managing the process.
John Calamos, your thoughts on Greece's geopolitical location?
Yeah, well, Greece was in the middle of a moderate recovery until the pandemic interrupted it. And as we get by this, hopefully we do, I think it can come back. And I think, again, I'll emphasize people don't realize the importance of deregulation. The innovators that come out of Greece are tremendous. Look at the success they had, around the world. And allowing them to be innovative and successful is really key, because there are so many, as Dean pointed out, so many good products out there, and allowing them to really produce those and market those, I think it will really be beneficial. And obviously, tourism is their biggest industry. And once we get through this pandemic, we'll see the recovery there. So, Greece, from an investment point of view, is a part of the emerging markets, and we think that's coming back very strongly here.
What I find interesting is we talk about certain things. We talk about export products, for example. A lot of us obviously go to stores and we see Hellenic products relating to the Mediterranean diet and all that. But the reality is that Greece exports are quite different, actually. The biggest exports that they have are in mineral fuels, oils, and distillation products. Second is pharmaceutical products. Third is aluminum products. Fourth is plastics. So you can see that it's a very diversified, quite frankly, country. And we have not taken advantage of that. What's interesting to me also is the fact that America and dealing with American companies and American investment and all the rest of that is really behind the curve. For example, Greece actually exports and has more dealings with Italy, Germany, Turkey, Cyprus, Bulgaria, and then we come in a distant place. You gentlemen, as was indicated by the minister, no one is expecting you as Greek Americans or Hellenic Americans to come into Greece as your duty. However, you are all businessmen, and businessmen are there to make a profit and to do the right thing, obviously for their heritage. Let me get your thoughts in terms of what type of things you think Greece should be doing to expand its relationship, even with the United States. Dean, you want to start with that one?
Yeah, I think John Catsimatidis earlier said we need a contact relationship, maybe a Department of Commerce that fosters relationships and contacts in Greece, and then also can shepherd the process of communication with the right ministries, with the right bureaucracy, with the right expediting permitting and expediting those type of things. So I think that we perhaps could start there, and that's a small office. Again, you don't need to spend huge amounts of money. A small office that contacts private equity people, contacts corporate folks that have a potential relationship with Greece, whether it's importing or exporting to it. I'm not sure there's a very dynamically driven group here that represents Greece's interest, contacting all of us with ideas and opportunities, and as well as corporations like the Pfizer's that was mentioned by the Prime Minister with the minister. I'm sorry. So I think we probably can start with that, where there's someone that's actively knocking on all our doors, sharing ideas, sharing what opportunities might be available in Greece, and helping us shepherd. Because we got involved a few years ago with Apollo. We looked at something in Greece, and I tell you, we couldn't figure a way out who to get decisions from. And so I think if there's a group here that has those contacts, those relationships, that understands Greece, brings us opportunities, helps us shepherd execution of those opportunities in Greece, I think that would go a long way.
John Catsimatidis, one of the things that you mentioned to me, when we were talking about different products, in particular with some of your stores, etc., was, Lou, in the old days, there used to be people who would come there and have exporting shows where they would bring their products, where they would try to sell their products. And you said, where are these people? Where are these people showing us what in fact is in Greece, what I can buy, what I can do, etc., to support not only Greece, forget about Greece, but also your own business. What are your thoughts about that, John?
Well, I mean, for our food companies, and we were even bigger in food companies years ago. My kids don't have that much of an interest in it anymore. But we used to buy containers and containers of peaches. The Greek peaches were loved by the Americans, and a whole variety.
That's wonderful. John Calamos, in terms of your the corporations and individuals that you're dealing with, what are your thoughts about them investing in the type of things that we're talking about in terms of Greece? Is it the same issue that John and Dean were talking about in terms of communications, people not coming to you? What are your thoughts about that, John Calamos?
I think it is. I remember just a couple years ago, I was at an event in Athens, a THI event, where we were talking to a lot of the innovators, the kids that had great ideas and how to do that. And every time I talked to one of the kids from Greece on what they're going to do, they were leaving the country to get that plan going. Again, the regulations are a key point to allow them to be successful in that country, in that move away from there. So I think that's, the government has to be facilitating these innovators to progress and not, as Dean pointed out, you got to cut the red tape. You got to allow them to do that. And I think that's really key because we do see that innovation.
Certainly the Hellenic, I'm sorry? Oh, one last question. Okay. Gentlemen, with Athens becoming one of the cities in China's Belt and Road Initiative, what do you see as the opportunities for investment in Hellas as a bridge to the rest of the global economy? In other words, Greece has it all. Besides the tourism and all that, it has the roads, it has the ports, it has the people with intellectual background. What are your thoughts in terms of it becoming a global hub in the area, not only in the Balkans, but obviously in Europe and the rest of the world? Dean, you want to take it? John, anybody?
Happy to jump off. I think, listen, you're absolutely right. I think Greece is at a crossroads. We have that entrepreneurial spirit as a dynamic spirit as a human, as people. We're homogeneous as a society. We think alike. As I think we've all said, I think we just need an environment that's business friendly, without a lot of bureaucracy, with a lot of transparency, which is key to me too. Transparency. But I think it's very well positioned. It can be the Miami of Southern Europe from an investment point of view, from a communication, from tourism, and there's so many industries that support these type of trends. I think as you said, the road, the China, the commitment China made to the port, I think it can be a very, very dynamic center. And by the way, again, we've said, I think the current government is moving in exactly that direction to sponsor and to foster this type of openness, transparency, and dynamic investing in Greece, because people understand the government, the regulations, and the legal system to be able to support decisions and any issues that come along with those decisions. So that environment will be key, and I think Greece is very, very well positioned.
They're very well positioned. John, your final thoughts on Greece?
Well, Dean Metropoulos has said it all. I mean, you need like we said, communications. They're positioned properly. and it has a good management team now. They're all smart, educated people in Greece, and they just have to put it forward.
John Calamos, final thoughts?
Yeah, and even working with China in all that, you don't want to create a product and label it a Chinese product. They need to label it a Greek product. And Greek has to have that image out there. It's Greek olive oil. It's this, it's that. So it's just working with China, you have to be careful there. They'll take the product and they'll label it as their own. In Greece has to have that view to the world out there, which I think it can.
You're absolutely correct, and quite frankly, we're all for Hellas. There's no doubt about it over here. Thank you all for a fantastic panel. It was a little short, and I think we have to do it again, quite frankly, in more depth, because I think we can contribute to the Hellenic exports as well as Hellenic investment. To the audience, please stay connected for our next discussion on the valuable contribution of the chambers with moderator Eftihia Pilarinu Piper. She is the Senior Vice President of the Red Apple Group and a member of the board of the Hellenic American Chamber of Commerce. She is well known in Hellas, as in the early 1990s. She had written history, becoming the first woman ever to become president of a Greek bank there. She is the chairperson of the organizing committee of this forum. Welcome, Eftihia.